Hey guys, today we are going to work with section 2.6, families of functions, and this is part 2. And we will be able to analyze transformations of functions. So previously we have done vertical shifts where we're moving our function up and down, as well as horizontal shifts where we were moving our function left and right. Now we are going to be vertically stretching or shrinking. So we are now going to be changing the look of our function. Where we find out whether we have a vertical stretch or a vertical shrink is the number that is in front of our function being multiplied. So in our letters, we call that A. So a vertical stretch multiplies all of our y values of a function by the same factor that is greater than 1. So we stretch when the number is greater than 1. In an example, we have y is equal to 3 times x squared. Here our a value is equal to 3, which is greater than 1, so we are going to be stretching. Then we also have vertical shrink. A vertical shrink reduces all of our y values of a function by the same factor between 0 and 1. So that means we're going to be multiplying by a decimal or a fraction. In an example, we have 1/3 as our a value, which is between 0 and 1. So we are going to shrink. Now we're going to take a look at some of the different functions. First, we have y equals x squared, which is just our first graph. In the second graph, we have the stretching of y equals 3x squared. So now we took all of our y values in our first graph. So at -1, our y value was 1. Now at -1, our y value is 3, and we multiplied them by 3. That's why we see a longer graph as our stretch. In our third graph, we have y equals 1/3 x squared. Just like we had point -1, 1 in our first graph, now our first -1 is now going to be at 1/3, so we have a shrinking of our graph. These are all three of the graphs put together on one coordinate plane, so you can see how much it's stretching by multiplying the function by 3 and how much we are shrinking when we multiply the function by 1/3. Now we have a problem. The table at the right represents the function f of x. What are corresponding values of g of x and possible graphs for the transformation g of x is equal to 3f of x? So we're given our xy table with our values. They want us to figure out what 3 times f of x is. So what are we going to do? Take our original values of f of x and multiply by 3. So 2 times 3, which is 6, to get our values at g of x. And then they want us to graph both f of x and g of x. So go ahead and pause the video and graph these two functions. So I graphed my two functions, my original f of x in green, my transformation of g of x, which was 3 times f of x in red, and you can see how much that red is actually stretched out from the green. And that's all. See you Monday.